Yeah. So GitHub, Git Cheat Sheet. So Git is an open source distributed version control system that facilitates GitHub activates on your laptop or a desktop. This cheat sheet summarizes the commonly used Git command in the instructions for a quick reference. So you already know how to install the Git, right? This is a Git for Mac, Windows, or something like a configuring tool that is a username, email. We yesterday already configured the branches, the branches. Okay, Git branches. So what are the repositories and Git ignores? That's synchronize changes. So I want to synchronize the changes and make the changes. So make changes and so redo commits and Git flow. That Git flow something like a branching strategy. So what is Git? GitHub commit to branch, clone, remote, fork, pull request, head. So Git, an open source distributed version control system. GitHub is a platform for hosting and collaborating on the Git repositories. So commit a Git object, a snapshot of your entire repository passed into a SHA. So branch, a lightweight movable pointer to a commit. Clone, a local version of the remote.
Into a SHA means what is that?
So SHA is nothing but so you don't know the that encrypted things, right? Encrypt, decrypt.
No,
So SHA-5 you can use the encrypt the codes, right?
no idea, Hari. What
No
it is?
idea. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I will tell you. You don't
Okay.
worry. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So you just listen what is that. So what is the remote? A common repository on a GitHub that all team members use to exchange their changes. What is that? Used to exchange their changes. Same like this. Okay. A remote repository. So fork a copy of the repository on the GitHub owned by a different user. Pull request, a place where to compare and discuss the differences introduced on a branch with reviews, comments, integrated and test mode. Header, representing your current working directory, the head pointer can be moved to different branches, tags and commits when using the Git checkout. Okay, so I will tell you the other one. Second, downloads, Git cheat sheet, cheat Git cheat sheet. Yeah. So useful Git commands. Git hyphen hyphen version or Git hyphen hyphen v. You can also get the version. It shows the version of the Git installed on your machine. Okay. Git init. So what is Git init? It will initialize the project folder into a Git repository. So for example, in our local repository, in our local desktop or a laptop, so you created a directory called as a So we created a directory called as a Selenium Java automation directory. I want this normal directory as a local repository. For that purpose, you can use the git init command. It will initialize the project folder into a git repository. So this is the project folder into a git repository. Means so after this, it will show the main. Should I show you right? So it will show the main git bash. Is that git bash? And it's the git bash. So ls. So if you go to ds ds git, you see a future r cd dot. This is the local repository r cd. You see this is a normal directory. I want to initialize this normal directory as a local repository. You can use let's see what is the there anything is there. Git init. It will initialize. You see so it will initialize as a local repository. It will initialize as a local repository. Now you understood, right? I will tell you the example. So Git init, it will initialize the project folder into a Git repository. What is Git status? In simple terms, it will show you exactly the which files folders have been modified. So Git status. So which file? In simple terms, it will show you exactly which files folders have been modified. Git status. So then git add dot. So it will add all your files to the git staging area. All your files to the git staging area. One second, I will show you that also. Then you will understand more. This is the git landscape. Okay. Yeah. So now you understood, right? What is Git staging area, working area? I will show you what this is. Guys are able to see it, right?
Ah, yes, Hari.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
sir. Else I will show you this case. Yeah, you already see, right? So what is? So this is our working area. This is our working area. So wherever you created the files, right? This is the working area. So staging area, local repository. So if you use the git add command, what is the command? Git add command. So it will add your files into the git staging area. You can also add individual files to the staging area. So for example, git add index.html. Okay, so what a git add? So it will add your files into staging area. It will add your files into staging area from working directory to staging area. From working directory to staging area, you can use the git add command. You can use the git add command. So git differ, it will show the difference between a file in the staging area and a file that present in the working directory. So what is that? So it will show the difference between what is that git differ? It will show the difference between a file in the staging area and the file that present in the working tree. So untracked file. Okay. So what is git commit hyphen yum? So it will save. So it will save your changes to a local repository. So whenever you add, you create, you mod, you added any data, you created any data. So that git that local repository git local repository doesn't know how it will know from send it to from working directory to staging area, then staging area to local repository. So what are the commands we need to use? We need to use the git add and git commit commands. Okay, now you understood. So whatever you created that files, that files doesn't know the local repository. If you want to know the local repository, first you need to send that files from working directory to staging area and staging area to local repository. So we can use git add command to send from working directory to staging. From staging to local, we can use the git command.
Uh,
So
uh,
these two commands will work for local. Yeah, ask.
Hari, why we need a staging area in between?
Why we need a?
Staging area?
Yeah. So this is the structure. So
Hmm.
this is the structure of the Git. So first we need to send it to the staging area. Why staging area? I will tell you.
Okay, okay.
Good question.
And Hari, one more question, like
Hmm.
these staging area and local repository, or these are on cloud or in our local system?
Local only, local only. This is the local one. Yeah.
Yep.
So you created a file. Okay, for example, this is the master, right? Or cd.ls cd ds git file. Okay. So this is yesterday we cloned this file. Okay. So you
Okay.
want to send, this is the, you are seeing here, right? So this is only local repository. This is the remote repository.
So this staging and local will be in our own system, and remote will be on server side, right?
GitHub, yes, server
On
side.
on the cloud, right?
Yeah. So here also we can add the we can add the code and we can add the files directly in the remote repository also.
Okay. Directly we can add the file into the remote also.
In the remote repository also.
Okay.
Okay, so there also, so if you want to send to the remote repository, if you want to know the remote repository, you need to git add and git commit. Then remote repository knows that changes. These two commands, git add and git commit. So if you want to know the local repository, you can use the git add and git commit. If you want to know the remote repository, you can use git add and git commit. Good question, Deva. Devesh. Yeah, Prijit, you asked something, huh? Devesh or Prijit?
We both asked. One is like what is the staging area purpose?
Hmm.
Like yeah.
Yes. I will tell you. So working directory, staging area, and local repository, right? So what is working directory? Working directory is the location where all the code is created initially. All the files present here are called as a untracked files because of local repository doesn't know. You just created these files. Okay. So this is whatever the code you write it, right? That code is not tracked by the local repository. So what is the staging area? Staging area is the location where the files indexing happens and it is the buffer area of Git and these files called as a indexed files. These files called as a indexed files. I will tell you the Git architecture. Git branching. So staging area is nothing but a staging area is the location where the files are indexing happens. So what is that? Git staging area. So get the staging area, branching and merging, small and fast, distributed data assurance, staging area. So unlike the other system, Git has something called as a staging area or index. This is an intermediate area where commits can be formatted and reviewed before completing the commit. Have you understood? So this is an intermediate area where commits can be formatted. So we can format the commits and review the before completing the commits. So this allows you to stage only portions of a modified file, gone all the days of making two logically unrelated modifications file before I realized that you forgot to commit one of them. Now you can just stage the change. You need to, not this one. Just this is an intermediate area where commits can be formatted and reviewed before completing the commits. Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Yes, right. So this is the area. So you directly push that code to the commit, right? Something like a git commit. So if you run the git commit, it will create a commit ID. It will create a commit ID. So if you want to revert this, right? So we cannot. So because of so in the staging area, if you send from untracked to tracked, so untracked to track, then you can commit that code to the local repository. So why we need, so in the working directory, the files are untracked files. So we want to track, first we want to track them. How we can track them? By using staging area. By sending it to the staging area, then it is tracked. Now from tracked to, you can push directly to the local repository. Okay. So local repository is the where version controlling happens. Here, the version controlling happens means it will create the commit ID, so that who modified the code, when modified, it will be. So this will be the version controlling happens, and files are called as a committed files. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, got
Yes, right?
idea. Yeah, got idea. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So the clone, how to clone. So for the first time, what we can do? So for the first time, so we can use the git clone. What is that? So I'm not editing here. That's the reason. So you can edit it down. There is no addition now. Okay. So here, yeah, here, right. So for the first time, you want to get the code to your local repository. What you can use, guys? You can use the command call it as a
Git clone.
git. Oh, very good. So for the first time, you can use the git clone. Okay. So then you can do the git push, git pull. What is push? Whatever the new code created, right? So this is the new code, abc.txt. So that text will be, so your repository, your remote repository is downloaded in the local repository. You can modify the code, then push the code to the remote repository. So some other guy also pushed the code to the remote repository, right? So this is you, and the other guy also push it to the remote repository. I want to get that. I want to get the new added files into your local repository. You can use the git pull. So for pushing your changes, you can use the git push. Understood? So git clone, git push, git pull. These commands will work these commands will work on from local repository to remote repository. So for these commands, git add, git commit, git checkout, git merge, all these commands will work on the local repository. Guys, understood?